What's going on? It's Harris, founder of Open Rates Only. In this video today, I'm going to be breaking down Revita Pro. So this was a famous ClickBank product back in 2021. So we're going to go over it today, and hopefully you can learn something about copywriting. And again, this is day 6 of 50. So stick along, go through the previous videos. If you go through all 50 videos with me, you will come out the other side and probably knowing how to write direct response. Simply, if you're just following along, taking notes, you can easily become a good copywriter just by, seeing how these direct response copywriters are writing these scripts and VSLs. Because again, these are million dollar a month products, and that's just because of these videos. It's just because of these scripts, these landing pages. So you really have to dial it in, understand the framework, because again, the framework is one of the most important things. So again, that's what I'm breaking down today. Feel free to check out the website yourself. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Hold on, sweetheart.
Push me, Papa, push me.
Dad, are you okay? Somebody call 911.
Robert, your heart is not going to be able to support your weight for another 10 years, or even 5 years for that matter. If you want to be around to see your grandchildren grow up, I'd suggest you make a change, and it needs to happen quickly.
These were the most terrifying words I'd ever hear, but would also turn out to be my biggest blessing. Because what happened next over the following 8 months would not only transform my life, but has now helped over 159,603 everyday men and women who, just like me, want to be around to see their family grow old and be able to enjoy it without the horrifying thought of not being there because of future health complications. This journey, though difficult to tell, and if I'm being completely honest, still gives me nightmares from time to time, but with the help of God, led me to the discovery of an ancient 8-second recharge done every morning before breakfast and every evening before dinner. This simple recharge is something you won't hear about in any television program or health magazine. It's never even been introduced to the world until this very moment. It's been scientifically tested and proven to be more powerful than any diet or exercise known to man. And it works by targeting the real reason behind all the major health problems facing adults over the age of 40, like uncontrolled belly fat, low energy, premature aging, cognitive decline, joint pain, and something that haunted me personally the most, stress. And despite what you might think or have even been told about all of these things, it has absolutely nothing to do with just getting older, or a slow metabolism, or hormones, or genetics, or any of the other cliche excuses we've been convinced to believe is the reason for our declining health. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're severely overweight with high anxiety and stress, or just want to lose a few pounds to fit into those old pair of jeans again and feel more relaxed. This recharge is so incredibly simple and easy that literally anyone could do it. And in the next few moments, you'll see firsthand just how wrong we've been when it comes to getting rid of stress, losing weight, and getting healthy. Known only by the indigenous people of a remote Japanese village, this recharge burns away the most stubborn belly fat, fights against the most severe anxiety, aids in maintaining a healthy heart, helps lower cholesterol, boosts cognitive ability, and protects your brain, eases joint pain, and studies have even shown it to lengthen your lifespan. Which is why I'm even able to be with you today on this exclusive presentation, revealing this incredible and amazing secret, which took me from an overweight, pre-diabetic, with high blood pressure and achy joints, stressed out beyond words, to a young and vibrant 54-year-old. Grandpa full of life and energy and excited about what the future holds. Losing over 63 pounds and taking me from this to this. Totally shocking my doctor and every other health expert who has heard of my story. Probably because this little known breakthrough completely flips traditional weight loss and stress management advice on its head and attacks your uncontrolled belly fat from a scientifically proven and brand new method, targeting the one true cause of not only uncontrolled weight gain, but also a number of major health problems like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, joint pain, Alzheimer's, and even anxiety disorders and depression. According to new findings at the Center for Obesity and breakthrough studies done by the National Institute of Health, this overlooked hormone in our bodies is causing absolute havoc, and in turn is making us fatter and more unhealthy, especially in those over 40, and until now has never truly been addressed. So, if you thought your uncontrolled belly fat and low energy was your fault, I promise you it's not. And if you're anything like me, you blame yourself because everything you've tried has never worked. Listen, I've been there. I tried all the new fad diets like keto and paleo. I tried everything my doctor recommended, like counting calories and intermittent fasting. I even tried those miracle weight loss pills and diet teas, but nothing was creating any change for me. I began to grow very impatient and frustrated, and truth be told, I started hating myself for how I couldn't get it right. But before I get into this presentation any further, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Robert Miller, and I'm not some fitness guru or health specialist or nutritionist. Heck, I hardly even know how to spell nutritionist. I'm not anyone special.
I'm just like you.
I've worked hard to take care of my family, and unfortunately, it came at a cost, and my weight and my health started deteriorating. You see, I'm a logistics coordinator for a large shipping company, and ever since the pandemic happened, as you can imagine, it's been insane. I'm so incredibly grateful to have a job, but it has taken a major toll on my stress, and I'm sure you can all relate. I live with my beautiful wife, Sandra, and our wonderful family in Kimmswick, Missouri, and most importantly, I'm a proud grandpa to the most beautiful little 4-year-old granddaughter named Olivia. In fact, I'm just a guy who needed a miracle, and by the grace of God, I received one.
I've known Robert for over 30 years now. We go back all the way to high school together. And my wife told me about what happened at his little granddaughter's birthday party, and I felt so bad for him. It had been several months since then, and one day I just happened to bump into him at the grocery store, and honestly, I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, he looked amazing. His face was just glowing with energy, and he was as slim as I had seen him in 20 years. He was just a different man. He was oozing with confidence, and I admit I was a little jealous. He kept going on about some ancient 8-second recharge and how it had changed his life, and on and on and on he went. And he convinced me to try it, and I will admit, I was extremely skeptical at first, but I couldn't deny how great Robert looked and the changes that he had made. And I had been struggling with a lot of extra weight since my late 30s and was tired of killing myself at the gym and dieting and just, all that, not seeing any results. And he told me I wouldn't have to change my lifestyle or even set foot in a gym or try another, grueling diet plan. So I thought, what the heck? I'll give it a try. Well, I can proudly say after 43 days of using this simple recharge, I am down over 51 pounds. I have so much more energy, and my stress and my anxiety just...
43 days, 50 pounds. That is literally, that's actually impossible. You'd have to starve yourself. That is a crazy accusation from this VSO. But you know what? It's perfect for the prospect who wants to buy this product. It's funny how a lot of these direct response marketers will talk about how, it's this new method, and I've tried everything. I've tried all the magic pills. This is the magic pill. This is literally the magic pill. So, but it's just funny how they set it up. They frame it in a way to where, in the prospect's mind, if you don't, if obviously you don't know anything about direct response or marketing, you're locked in, and you're like, wow, this might actually be the product that saves my life, or XYZ. So interesting to think about.
Completely disappeared. And now I feel so calm and relaxed throughout the day. It's just amazing. And my blood pressure, cholesterol, way down. My joints don't ache when I get out of bed in the morning. Oh, and my memory has gotten better. And even my sex drive is back, just roaring like when I was a young man again. I'm just thankful. Thankful that I bumped into Robert that day and that he shared this simple 8-second recharge with me. It's changed my health and my life forever.
I've worked with Robert for a little over 15 years, and I've known Sandra for even longer than that. What happened to him was nothing short of a miracle. I didn't see him for a while at work, but then out of the blue, he was back and he looked incredible. He was a completely new person. I knew whatever happened, it was special. I had been struggling with anxiety since the whole pandemic happened, and I started gaining a ton of weight. The more stressed I got, the more I ate, which led to more weight. I was stuck in this vicious cycle and had absolutely no way of controlling it. After I saw Robert back at work and the amazing changes he made, I had to ask him what he was doing. That's when he shared with me this ancient 8-second recharge. He told me how it completely burned away 63 pounds effortlessly, that it got rid of his anxiety, he was sleeping better.
I mean, she's so obviously reading something, but it's just funny. It's like she's just sitting there, like I can see her eyes going left to right reading that script. But again, it taps into like when you, and this goes into e-com brands as well. It's like when you pull a real testimonial from somebody who bought your product and actually helped them this much, you know, that's why the reviews are in, emails are so good. That's why putting reviews in, you know, you'll see all sorts of emails every day with reviews in them, and some email marketers do a good job and some don't. To really stand out and be in that kind of 1% area is you are capturing the perfect review, and these are like the perfect reviews with his guy friend basically telling you that it's like God's given pill, 51 pounds in 40 days, like absolute, if it's like a complete facade, but it's also, it feels so real. And if you're a prospect, if you're overweight and you need something like this, you're going to be waiting to click that buy button. And that goes with the woman testimonial as well. She's going to say the same things probably. Ask about what it was, what happened, and then she took it and she lost pounds as well. But yeah, it's just funny because she's obviously reading something.
Been sleeping better than he ever had before. He was so excited telling me of all of the benefits that I knew I had to give it a shot. Well, just after 2 months of trying it, I've lost over 32 pounds and my anxiety really has gotten so much better. I have more energy. Both my blood pressure, my cholesterol levels have gone down. My joints don't ache anymore and my digestion is working better than ever, and I'm sleeping like a rock. I tried everything in the past to feel like this and actually see results, but nothing ever did it for me. I can't express how grateful I am for Robert and this simple 8-second recharge. It truly is a lifesaver.
This simple 8-second recharge.
I feel so honored and blessed to have found this simple and amazing discovery. And now I want to help as many people as I can struggling with the same issues. It all started exactly 1 year and 13 days ago when my little Olivia was having her 3rd birthday party, and we had all of our family and friends over to celebrate. I overheard a conversation between my sister-in-law and wife. Sandra, is Robert doing okay? I've never seen him this big. He looks twice the size as he did since the last time we were together. Your grocery bill must be through the roof, she lightly chuckled. As soon as I heard that, it was like a punch in the gut. And I quickly became so ashamed and embarrassed, not only for myself, but for Sandra. And the worst part was not being able to do anything about it. It may sound like it, but I promise I'm not the type of person to feel bad for myself or throw a pity party. I just want you to understand that I get it. I really do. I know exactly what you're going through. constantly exhausted, clothes that don't fit, the stress of feeling overweight and not being able to find a solution, the constant anxiety of potentially not being there for your family because of future health complications. If anyone understands, I do, because I live those feelings every single day. But everything came to a halt that day, the day of Olivia's 3rd birthday. It was one of the most humiliating and scary things to ever happen to me, but also the biggest blessing of my life. And you'll understand why in a moment. After I overheard my sister-in-law, Margaret, talking to my wife, I'll admit, I was embarrassed and frankly a little more than upset at Margaret. And I wanted to walk in there and let her know how I really felt about her. But obviously I didn't want to make a scene, so I decided to cool off and get some space. I found Olivia and suggested she go and try out a new tricycle I put together and take it for a spin. We walked outside, and as she excitedly asked me to push her, I gave her a slight push. And then all of a sudden I felt my chest begin to tighten and start pounding. My breathing got heavier and heavier, and I was only able to take a few steps, and then I fell to my hands and knees, and that's the last thing I can remember. When I finally came to, I was so confused, and my head was throbbing. I finally started to regain consciousness, and I could hear my wife let out a little shriek as she ran over to my bedside with tears in her eyes.
I thought I'd lost you, Bob. Your blood pressure was so high they said it's a miracle you survived. Your heart just can't take the stress anymore.
It tore my heart to pieces to see her like this, and to know that it was because of me. But she was right. We both knew the statistics. Excess weight increases the risk for many health problems. Type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease and strokes, certain types of cancer and sleep apnea, osteoarthritis, fatty liver disease, and kidney disease, just to name a few. 6 days passed since I first arrived in the hospital, and I was still lying in that hospital bed, scared, confused, and shaken. What happened that morning is something I'm still ashamed of, and I remember it like it was yesterday. My wife brought little Olivia by because she thought it might cheer me up. But as soon as I saw her, I couldn't hold it in, and I just began to weep. It all hit me at once, and thoughts started flooding in. Thoughts of not being around to watch Olivia grow up and get her first car, or cry over her first boyfriend, or go off to college. I thought about not being able to do the things that I promised Sandra we would do once I retired. I wanted to be around for my family, and I knew it was going to take a miracle. Thankfully, God was watching over me, because what happened next?
So something to keep in mind is the overusage of the word God with this audience, primarily with older people. Most older people definitely believe in God, and relating to them with this is really crucial, actually, because that might actually be the needle mover to make someone make their first purchase, is because this guy believes in God and it was a miracle, and now it's my time. This is your calling, so to speak. So just something to keep in mind. It's overused in direct response because this age group, whether it's around 50 to 70, and they are targeting older people here, you can just tell. But in general, people who are just overweight, so anybody from 40, 50, 60, 70 who are overweight, the God angle is perfect. And even if you don't believe in God, you can still kind of picture what it's like. So just something to keep in mind.
Next set in motion the most incredible sequence of my life and led me to the breakthrough that I so desperately needed, and the one that you have been searching for as well. It was now day 10 in the hospital, and I was supposed to have been discharged that morning. But to my surprise, unfortunately, after running some final tests and checking my vitals, the doctor on duty suggested that I be kept in for a few more days just to keep an eye on me and make sure my vitals and tests went back to normal. They decided to send me to a special ward, and that's where I met Dr. Akido Nakamura, who was at the hospital on a 2-month transfer from Japan. He was there for a medical conference and to give lectures about his medical practices from back home. A highly respectable man. He was very friendly with a great sense of humor, considering his English wasn't his primary language. Every night he would come to check on me, and and we would talk while the rest of the ward slept. He told me about how he grew up in a tiny and remote village in the Japanese Alps, and that his village was considered the birthplace of ancient Japanese medicines, some of which we still use today. And as he told me more about the beauty of his home, I told him about my story and how my health was robbing me of all the joy I once had and was beginning to cause friction with my family, my inability to play with my sweet little Olivia anymore because I was so overweight, my hopelessness that nothing was ever going to work. Honestly, it felt good to be able to vent and be open to someone. We became close friends over these nights. On day 17, I was finally cleared to be released and go home. And on that last night before I left, Dr. Nakamura made his usual rounds and came to my room for one last time. We began with a bit of small talk, but I couldn't wait any longer, and I asked him, I begged him, if he knew anything that could help me, where an endless amount of American diets and exercise had failed. He hesitated, then got up, stuck his head outside of my door, and proceeded to close it. He sat down and answered.
Robert, my friend, I am glad you asked me. There is a reason why you and so many others like you struggle with weight gain and high stress levels. I've been looking at your results.
That's not okay. We're gonna keep watching, but this VSL, it's crazy how it printed and did, however much it did, because they really just threw this together. And I guess that's kind of the beauty of these VSLs, is kind of just, they don't have to be that pretty, they don't have to be that perfect, well executed. The copy just has to convert, and that's the main thing. And that's kind of the script writing of it.
And your doctors see one thing, but I see something different, Robert. And that's the issue. American doctors and doctors in the West in general have no idea what's really behind uncontrolled weight gain and all the other major health issues people face. But I promise you, you don't need to worry a second more. I have the answer for you. But first, let me explain. You may already know this, but stress levels are at an all-time high, not only in the US, but worldwide. Stress levels were getting bad, but with the pandemic, it just made everything 10 times worse. We have always understood that stress is bad for your body, but we never really understood just how bad it is for uncontrolled weight gain in particular. According to the National Institute of Health and new studies carried out by the National Library of Medicine, it is now believed that the rise of uncontrolled weight gain is directly in correlation with rising stress levels. Look at these two charts. The one on the left is the rise of uncontrolled weight gain over the last 40 years. Now, look at the chart on the right. This shows the rise of the stress hormone cortisol over the last 40 years. They are exactly the same. According to another groundbreaking study done by the Mayo Clinic, with the rising levels of cortisol, overexposure to this hormone can disrupt all of your body's natural processes. This putting you at higher risk for many health problems, including but not limited to anxiety, depression, digestive problems, headaches, heart disease, sleep problems, weight gain, memory and concentration impairment, and that's only the beginning.
He continued.
The US obesity rate is close to 40%, and the weight loss industry, full of impossible diets and exercise programs, is worth over $80 billion. So it's no surprise that this groundbreaking new discovery isn't public. It's a big business, and they'll do anything they can to protect that business.
I became sick just thinking about it. So if you thought that your lack of exercise caused your weight gain, or if you thought you hadn't tried hard enough on your diets, or even tried the right diet plan, think again. It has nothing to do with any of those things. I now know this, and in just 1 minute, I will reveal to you the simple and clinically proven all-natural pre-breakfast recharge you can do right now to speedily combat your stress levels and in turn, melt away nasty belly fat, arm fat, hip fat and thigh fat. Not only that, but supercharge energy levels, protect brain health, support a healthy heart, and lower cholesterol levels, ease joint pain, and even boost your sex drive. But can't I just take some of the medication I was given to help with my stress levels, I asked?
Great question, but no. You see, those medications were only designed to treat the symptoms of stress and don't actually address what the stress is doing to your body. In fact, a lot of the medications given to counteract stress and anxiety can actually cause more weight gain, not weight loss. Even for those not taking any medications for stress, their cortisol levels are likely through the roof, and it's only making them fatter and more unhealthy. Stress is a true cause of uncontrolled belly fat and bad health, don't you see?
Everything he was saying made so much sense. That sounds great, I said, but what am I supposed to do about it? If I have nothing left to try, I exclaimed, slightly irritated. Dr. Nakamura gave me a knowing smile, walked off, and returned 30 minutes later with a crumpled up piece of paper. At the top was a phone number, and below it, I thought was his email address, until I looked closer.
You are a smart man, Robert. I want you to try this. It will help you. You are the very first Westerner to know this. Do it in the morning before you eat breakfast every day, and before you eat dinner every night. Goodbye, my friend.
I took the paper from Dr. Nakamura, thanked him for everything he'd done for me, and with that, he shook my hand, nodded at me, and I never saw him again. I looked down at the piece of paper, and if I'm being honest, I was extremely confused. All it had on it was a phone number and the name of a single Japanese herb I'd never heard of. Only then did it hit me that Dr. Nakamura was always carrying around this old leather pouch every time I saw him. Every night, when he would come to check on me, he would always have hot tea, and he would carefully take out his leather pack and grab a handful of what looked to be some sort of ground up herb and sprinkle it in his tea. I once saw someone ask to try it, and he politely refused. He acted as if it was more precious than gold. Soon, I found out why. I was released the next day, and as soon as I got home, I began researching what was inside. I immediately looked up the root on the piece of paper Dr. Nakamura gave me, and what I found shocked me. It's an ancient Japanese root known as Polygonum cuspidatum, or in more simple terms, Japanese knotweed. We know it today in the West by a different name, resveratrol, native only to remote parts of the Japanese Alps. This incredibly potent and ancient herb was first discovered when health experts and doctors began studying a remote village tribe in Japan. Taken every day by the villagers in this remote tribe, Japanese knotweed, or resveratrol, is the only known natural ingredient on Earth that is clinically and scientifically proven to lower cortisol levels and aid in stress relief and thus dealing with the real root cause of unexplained weight gain and other health issues. But that's just the beginning. Because not only does this super herb lower cortisol levels, but according to multiple studies, like the ones carried out by prestigious organizations like the OECD based in Paris, France, or the Japanese Center for Obesity, resveratrol also has some other amazing and life-giving benefits. It's thought to help reduce inflammation, lower LDL or bad cholesterol, and make it more difficult for clots to form that can lead to
This VSL is very buggy. A lot of
a
issues.
heart attack. It could limit the spread of cancer cells and start killing them. It may protect nerve cells from damage and fight the plaque buildup that can lead to Alzheimer's. It also helps prevent insulin resistance, a condition in which the body becomes less sensitive to insulin, and this can lead to diabetes. Researchers also believe that resveratrol is responsible for activating the SIRT1 gene, the gene believed to protect the body against the effects of obesity and the diseases of aging. They found that the people in this particular village had the lowest rate of heart disease, diabetes, and cholesterol-related issues of any people in the entire world. even though they eat incredibly high-carb diets and even eat fast food regularly. But never gain a single pound. So it's no wonder Dr. Nakamura and these remote Japanese villagers who eat high-carb, high-sugar diets have one of the lowest rates of obesity and heart disease in the world and are being studied for their amazing health. But it had to be this ancient Japanese root that Dr. Nakamura told me to try, right? Well, I couldn't contain my excitement, and my eyes started to well up with tears as I stopped reading and sat back in my chair. I wasn't crying because I was sad or envious. I was crying because for the first time in years, I actually felt hope. Hope that I could finally get rid of my ugly belly fat, feel like myself again, and actually enjoy my life and health. Scientific study after scientific study was confirming my belief, and I became overwhelmed. I was so excited, I literally started shaking. I could feel my heart pounding. I felt like a man who had just won the lottery. I just couldn't believe the amazing secrets hidden in a strange and ancient Japanese recipe. A clinically proven solution to target the root cause of my uncontrolled belly fat. High stress levels. Yet the entire medical industry and even my own doctor never told me about it. All they wanted was to keep me a customer for life so they could sell me more exercise plans, diet plans, and medications. I knew I had to get started right away, but I soon ran into a huge problem. It took me weeks to find a supplier who actually manufactured real organic Japanese knotweed and thousands of dollars in shipping fees to buy it. On top of that, it took hour after hour to painstakingly extract the potent seeds, leaves, and pigments one by one, then measure them into exact required ratio for the recipe.
I think it's very funny. It's always with the direct response marketers, it's always the angle that the only way you can get this product is the exact, ratio of the solution, meaning like you can't go buy it yourself because we know the exact formula. And what he's going to do in this, and I don't know, but what he's going to do probably is say he's added 5 other ingredients basically so that you know that you can't go buy it yourself, because why would you buy it yourself when there's the main ingredient that's perfectly sourced and the ratio's right, and he's added all these other ingredients that he's magically done millions of studies on. So that's what's going to happen, I'm assuming. Let's keep watching.
And by the time I was finished, I was exhausted and didn't even have a day's worth of the mixture. Well, I now understand why Dr. Nakamura was so protective of this mixture and kept enough for his entire trip hidden safely in the storage locker. I needed help. And suddenly it dawned on me. On the piece of paper Dr. Nakamura gave me, there was a phone number at the top. How could I forget? He must have known what I was up against and knew I was going to need some help. After a quick call from the number Dr. Nakamura gave me, I was set to meet a man who called himself Dr. B. I met Dr. B at his office, and because of the sensitive and controversial nature of the information in this presentation, Dr. B is asked to remain anonymous. You see, Dr. B was one of the world's most celebrated holistic doctors in the world. He had signed pictures in his office from all over the globe with some of the world's most famous and respected scientists and doctors. Come to find out, Dr. B and Dr. Nakamura were classmates in medical school and had become very close friends. I have to tell you, this is incredible, Robert. All of your research is 100% correct. In the medical communities, we all knew that high cortisol levels were wreaking havoc in the body. We just had no idea how to stop it or neutralize it. When you see that carefree person who seems to have little to no stress, or that skinny person eating whatever they want and never gaining weight, well, it isn't because of lack of stress or age or high metabolism or whatever else we've always been told. It's simply because they have low cortisol levels. That's it. In fact, ever since we studied and learned about the stress hormone, scientists have wondered for decades.
It's true, but also not true. All right, I'm just going to tell you now, right? If you know anything about weight loss, if you actually do real research, you'll know that there is actually no magic pills. It's actually just calorie deficit. That's all it is. You could technically eat the donuts you want as long as they add up below your deficit, and you're working out 3 to 5 times a week, and you're in a calorie deficit, you will in turn lose weight. But the reason why no one loses weight is because, say they're good for 4 days, by the time the 5th and 6th day come around, they're probably cheating. And when they cheat, they gain back all their weight pretty quickly, and they can't stick to it. So, especially in like America, we have fast food that is just absolutely calorie dense. I mean, if you go to, for example, Whataburger, which is a food chain, it's a fast food chain here. I think the burger is like 1,200 calories, and it's delicious, and I would eat it. If I could eat it every day, I would. But again, I know I'm not trying to bulk right now. I'm actually trying to cut. So I know that if I eat that, I will literally have 800 calories left to basically eat protein primarily, because again, not going over your calorie limit is hard, and tracking every calorie is hard. And that's why that's why you can sell this angle. It's because there really is no, in quote, magic pill. So the industry to sell stuff in it is perfect for direct response. Because again, there's so many things you can try. There's so many things that the prospect has probably tried, just hasn't done it long enough. They haven't stayed disciplined. No one in this world is able to stay disciplined these days. So these products sell like crazy. Just something to think about.
If there's anything we can even do to stop rising cortisol levels. But now I'm certain that this ancient and unique Japanese root, that unexplained weight gain, high stress, low energy, and so forth, can literally be addressed and combated. Robert, this lifetime discovery, he exclaimed. Well, it was a total miracle from God, because Dr. B did everything. I mean everything. He even got in touch with Dr. Nakamura and was able to source the purest and rawest form of resveratrol straight from the Japanese Alps. Literally, the same exact source from the remote Japanese village Dr. Nakamura was from. Dr. B then spent weeks researching and perfecting the formula with his team of specialists, testing thousands of different ways to make sure the formula was the most potent and effective. It gets even better, because Dr. B then got in contact with the top GMP-certified manufacturing facility in the entire U.S., and they agreed to prepare and break down the resveratrol into its purest and most concentrated
Here's the
form.
bonus. The bonus is coming.
A tiny and easy-to-swallow veggie capsule.
There's got to be more
that
ingredients.
You can take every morning and every evening before meals.
There's more ingredients.
It's important to note that the Japanese knotweed, aka resveratrol, taken by itself would not be effective. But Dr. B and his team have worked with the manufacturer and combined it in exact, clinically proven ratios and amounts so that when taken at the right time of day would lower cortisol levels naturally, which in turn would melt away stubborn belly fat like ice cream on a hot summer day, while at the same time helping to lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol levels, increase insulin sensitivity, preventing complications from diabetes, ease joint pain, protect the brain, suppress harmful cancer cells, and has even been found to lengthen lifespans. And this is the coolest part. Dr. B and his team found that resveratrol in its raw powder form, like the way the remote villagers and Dr. Nakamura were taking it, was powerful, but was also losing a lot of its efficiency because of how fast it was absorbed into the body. So, by putting it into a single, convenient, and safe little power pack capsule, their studies showed that it allowed for an all-day release and was absorbed into the body
I'll be so
at a much
surprised
higher
if there's
rate,
not other ingredients.
meaning it works all day and night, burning fat and lowering stress, even when sleeping. Nothing like this has ever been attempted before in the history of the medical community, especially when dealing with stress and weight loss. Introducing Revita Pro, the world's first and only 100% all-natural solution to fixing the scientifically proven real root cause of your high stress levels and uncontrollable belly fat, high cortisol levels. Revita Pro is the only product in the entire world derived from raw Japanese knotweed, sourced directly from the Japanese Alps themselves. Revita Pro is as pure and organic as it gets and has been put into exact clinically proven quantities to lower cortisol levels and rid you of anxiety and uncontrolled body fat for good. Your Revita Pro capsule is manufactured right here in the USA in the most sterile, FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility. It is complete, 100% all-natural with no dangerous toxins or stimulants whatsoever, so no jittery feelings. It is non-habit or tolerance-forming, non-GMO, and 100% gluten-free. Nothing like this has ever been created in the history, and no discovery like this will ever come again. Attacking the true cause of your uncontrolled belly fat and
It'll load.
lowering stress levels is so simple with Revita Pro, literally anyone can do it. More powerful than any diet or exercise program on the planet. Not only lowering stress and burning away unwanted body fat, the main and only ingredient in Revita Pro, resveratrol, has also been proven to help lower blood pressure and cholesterol, protect brain
this is one of the first times I've
suppress
seen
deadly
it
cancer
only
cells,
been one
increased
product, which
insulin
is interesting.
sensitivity, which protects against complications from diabetes, and even fight against wrinkles. The list goes on and on. This powerful and unique ancient herb is unlike anything you've ever seen. And the best part is, you don't have to change your lifestyle at all. And I mean, not one bit. No more starving yourself on another useless diet or exhausting yourself with another insane workout routine. The stress-free, flat stomach, and exuberant health you've always dreamed about and the one you've always deserved is right here, right at your fingertips. Join the 159,603 everyday women and men just like you who have taken Revita Pro and have completely changed their lives. It really is that easy, and you could start today and have access to everything within the next 90 seconds. If you're tired of constantly being disappointed by the next new thing and never seeing any results, then it's time for you to take a stand and say yes to something new and something that actually works. But real quick, I want you to ask yourself how much something like that would be worth. Something that is scientifically and clinically proven to give you the body of your dreams and restore your happiness. To feel relaxed and stress-free without having to take medication.
It'll load. Maybe it won't.
To burn away all your unwanted body fat. To look in the mirror or take your shirt off again and actually like what you see. To have your significant other look at you with desire again. To have your friends jealous and begging you for your secret. To finally feel healthy again. What would that feel?
So something to keep in mind is this is direct response in its purest form. This is good copy in its purest form. It's listing the outcomes of what the product does, right? He just listed only outcomes. Yeah, he's talked a lot about what's in the product, kind of, the surface level things that it'll help your body fat, it'll take care of your cholesterol, but it'll also, your friends will be dying about how you did it. You'll feel happy and healthy and full of energy to start the day. These are outcomes. These are what people want to hear. Yes, they want to hear about how it's going to burn your fat, decrease cholesterol levels. Yes, they want to hear that. That's why something that we primarily love to do is something called feature-based outcomes. When you list the feature, but then you talk about how it's going to help them outcome wise, and that when it's outcome wise, it's a way that they can emotionally connect with it. So something to keep in mind.
Look like to you. I want you to spend a couple of seconds here and really imagine it. Now, tell me what that would be worth to you. 10,000? 5,000? Some would say something like that would be priceless. Although I've been advised to sell a 30-day supply of Revita Pro for nothing less than $1,000. And even my own doctor suggested at least $597. And even though it's already helped over 159,603 women and men who would gladly pay triple that amount after seeing what it did for them, this isn't about money for me and never has been. I know what it feels like to see your health deteriorate and not be able to do anything about it. To try everything under the sun and only feel disappointment as you continue to see no results. To feel like you're wasting all of your money and energy as you become more and more overweight and more miserable. Trust me, I've been there and it sucks. I don't want that for you, and that doesn't have to be you any longer. I feel so blessed and humbled to have found this amazing discovery, and all I really want to do is share it with you. The truth is, all I'm trying to do here is just cover my cost and keep this presentation up for as long as I possibly can, so I can help as many people as I can, and the last thing I would want is for the price to be a factor in your decision. Because of the pure quality of our formula, importing costs are going up, and I will soon have no other choice but to charge $3.99 for a bottle of Revita Pro. But guess what? You don't have to pay that either, because you have been gracious enough to listen through my ramblings and to sit through this presentation, and that shows me you want the absolute best for yourself. So, for a very limited time only, you can get a bottle of Revita Pro for a simple one-time fee of just $89 for a bottle. Yes, only $89.
Money back guarantees is coming.
But before you order, I must remind you, as you've seen in the studies today, Dr. B and his team, who have researched this ancient formula, recommend you take Revita Pro for at least 90 to 180 days to ensure you reach your desired weight and fully lower your stress levels to where they need to be. This is because if you are over the age of 40 and more than 10 pounds overweight, you have a higher concentration of cortisol floating around in your body, and thus taking more time to guarantee your cortisol
60
levels
day.
lower, and your body gets back to a state where it can fully break down the resveratrol properly. The Revita Pro formula needs enough time to work throughout your entire body to get you back into balance and capable of losing weight and lowering stress levels. So, to guarantee life-changing results for only a very limited time only, I'm going to do something I've never done and let you order a 90-day or 180-day supply of Revita Pro for ridiculous savings. And if you do that in the next 10 minutes, just to show how much I appreciate you helping us to keep this site going so others can be blessed by it, you'll also get express free shipping with your order. I can't get this point across to you enough. This insane deal will not be available for much longer. The price of our formula is skyrocketing as a result of demand, which means we're selling out extremely fast. So I urge you to claim your supply of either the 3 or 6 bottles worth of Revita Pro within the next 10 minutes. And as a bonus, you'll get express free shipping with your order. And yes, your order today is a one-time payment with no auto ship, subscriptions, or hidden charges. You dislike those as much as I do. Make your choice below right now and join the thousands of other women and men who have forever changed their life with Revita Pro.
I'm so incredibly thankful to have stumbled upon Revita Pro. It completely changed my life. I was overweight, always stressed out. I hardly had any energy for anything. My blood pressure and my cholesterol was through the roof. Needless to say, my overall quality of life was quickly deteriorating.
15 pounds in 30 days. So we had, 50 pounds in 40 days, 15 in 29. These are like so insane. You literally physically cannot lose 50 pounds in 40 days. If you lost 50 pounds in 40 days, I don't even know what you would have to do. You'd have to be severely you'd have to be fasting. It's just, that's crazy. But yeah, this product was printing, so.
The worst part of it all was that I had tried everything I knew and everything I had been told to do by my doctors to get healthy. Nothing.
All right, I'm going to stop it right here just because we're at the 50-minute mark. So we're going to go over it now. Couple things to notice. He starts it off, and a lot of VSLs start this off, and I'm even starting to integrate this in my copy of picturing the product, where you kind of talk about the promise, the small 8-second ancient technique. He goes into the promise, talks about the testimonials, relates with them. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter your age, weight, stress, XYZ. So simple, anyone can do it. And then this is the product, and then the benefits that you get. And they all tend to do that, which I'm starting to notice, is they list the product, or they list the benefits and talk about how it took me from overweight to excited for life. This new method, it basically solves everything. Study, it's not your fault. Tried all the diets, tease everything. Intro to who I am. This is where it always gets good. And people are just recreating this VSL, where they talk a little bit about the product. They picture it. They show you the promise, the testimonials relating to them. Doesn't matter XYZ. The product, benefits, more outcomes. It's a new method. It literally solves everything. Studies, it's not your fault. Tried all the diets. Then into intro. And then always testimonial right here. And it's a real testimonial. Like I said, it's the 2 testimonials that he had. So he had the guy testimonial, the woman testimonial, and then started with the storytelling one. So he went storytelling, problem, right? A lot of problem here. And then it was a lot of, this was honestly, this could be anything, but where is it? It's basically just a past storytelling framework. So he painted of kind of showing you this kind of story, this hero's journey of him, dealing with blood pressure problem, overheard his family members talking about him, making fun of him, stress, weight gain, his life was going to end basically. And then he talked about how stress was a mechanism. Mechanism is the stress, you saw the graph, the stress cortisol levels were going up. So this is going up. And it turns out that this pill is literally the magic pill to solve it. Told you the outcomes of what it could do. Doctors failed me, keep me a customer for life. Dr. B talked about how you can source it exactly. He created the perfect formula. I stole this line because I think it's a really good melt body fat like ice cream on a hot summer day. I'm going to integrate that on my copy. That is just a killer line. Outcomes, intro the product, push. It's sourced from the Japanese alpha. It's extracted to the exact proven levels, right? The proven levels. So you can't get it yourself. You have to make sure you get the right amount, the right dosages, because again, you can't source it because the shipping is expensive, XYZ. The best part, you can be the same. Listening to Power 3. Yeah, just all the stuff it solved, basically. Testimonials, I'm just like you. Outcomes of the product, relating to the prospect. Tried, nothing works. Price anchor. It's always, this person told me to sell it for this, but I just want to help you. I'm here to help. It's this price. And then limited time, free shipping. He added the free shipping, and then testimonials, and then he was going to talk money back. So yeah, that was Revita Pro. Super interesting. I'm really starting to understand how these are formed. And you could probably rewrite this into an e-com email, a branded plain text email. So just something to think about. I think there's a lot of cool things in these direct response VSLs. A lot of cool things. And I'm definitely going to incorporate this and dumb this down a little bit more in my own time and create an email out of it. Because again, it's all about structure. It's the top to bottom format. It's how you watched it, how you perceived it, and you can really just dumb this down and make this into one singular email. And that's also why landing pages are extremely beneficial. It's because the top to bottom framework of kind of reading the specific information and tapping into the specific structure that he used, you'll notice the exact structure played a role on how you perceived the product. So, messing around with the structure, putting different pieces together is how these frameworks turn out so good. So again, I'm focusing on frameworks. If you need to focus on the copy, then really focus on the copy and see how they're kind of speaking to the prospect, because that's something to think about. But these days for me, I'm like, honestly, I like know what's going to happen next, just because I've seen so many of these and they're pretty repetitive. People will take the same idea from another VSL, a winning VSL, and then just take the same idea and bring it to another one with just a different sort of approach, different product. So yeah, something to keep in mind. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this breakdown. This is the Revita Pro Day 6. It was on Top Selling ClickBank. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you are a CMO, CEO, or marketing director of a 7 or 8 figure D2C e-com brand, and you're looking for someone to write your emails, there is no better agency on the planet than Open Rates Only. So reply to this email, or reply to this YouTube channel, and leave a comment, book a call, check out our website, check out our testimonials. But I'll see y'all another day. See ya.